Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Femi Ojo is my name. It gives me great pleasure, immense pleasure to know that you are here with us doing these at this time, having these conversations. And that's basically what we do here. Meaningful, deep, frank conversations on national discourse, sometimes at the subnational level as well. But the aim is having a nation, the kind of nation that we are proud of. We look into the nitty-gritty of the matter and we speak to those who are responsible, who should be responsible, or who should have been responsible for whatever we're talking about, so that we have, just like I said, a bright or working nation, the kind that anybody and everybody should be able to beat their chest and say, I am from here. These good people, that is who we are. Good people, great nation of Nigeria. Once again, good morning. How was your night? Quite a chilly weather we had overnight into this morning. The dews are trickling, but then it is the sign of a good day. So whatever you are doing, for so many persons, they are their place of work, just like I am. We are right now. Some they're on their way to work. Some maybe they just returned from their place of work. But make sure you are doing whatever is right, to put food on your table, legally speaking, and contribute your own quota to the development of this great nation for Nigeria. Thank you once again. Of course, Tony Lola, Mimi, Kanya is there. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning show. How are you doing, Femi?
Very well. Thank God for life.
All right.
Yeah. And how are you as well?
I'm very well.
Yeah,
very well.
yeah.
Though a bit cold, but I think right now what I need is a hot coffee, just a little bit hot.
Okay.
Just to keep me warm.
Coffee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
I'm so sure the director is listening right now. And
the producer's duty.
Oh, the producers,
either
yes.
is responding or not. The moment we are through, we'll go on a break. Tony wants a hot cup of coffee. What God cannot do does not exist. And I think that's one conversation that has been in the fore for the past 2 days, based on what one popular pastor said on a particular podcast. But that's not a conversation for this morning. And as we do, we look at the headlines from my major dailies. And of course, we then get talking about this matter. Tommy Lola, the issue of plane, jet, has been in the conversation for quite a while, especially the purchase or the need, let me say it like that, the need for the CNC, the president, to get a new airplane has been in the national conversation for quite some time now. A House of Representatives committee said, they took an inventory of the presidential planes and they saw that, okay, maybe some of them are rickety, they are bad, and maybe cannot be fixed. So they officially recommended to the House of Reps at the National Assembly to say there is a need to urgently, that was the word, is to get a new airplane for Mr. President and his vice. And then many Nigerians are saying, do we really need it? Can we afford it at this time? Yes, you need a plane. We don't want a situation where, God forbid, the number one, number two, or any of the cabinet members or anybody will drop dead from the skies because of a rickety plane. But then, is there a way they can still fly around in arranged planes, private charter planes or commercial flights? Because it is done in some part of the world as well. Even the topmost people in cabinet flies commercial flight, in as much they don't want to put a heavy burden, on the nation, because the matter is we might need it. But then to cough out millions and millions of dollars to buy such, a thing, item, transportation item at this time is the conversation. Many persons will say, you can't be telling us that we are broke and everybody should tighten their belt if any belt is still remaining on anybody's waist, and then you think you need it or you want it and you are getting it. This is the time for you to show commitment as well. Get on commercial flights and go to wherever you want to go. And if there is need for you not to attend some meetings or do it virtually, Please do that. And now we are hearing, the opposition, some persons have said, oh, they saw that particular plane in France. The federal government came out to say that's a lie. Okay, Deji Adeyonju, one of the activists, a member of the PDP, I don't know, maybe still a member now, or lawyer, released a clip and said he was at the airport, I think it was yesterday, and said, oh, he can cite, or you could cite the presidential jet in some place. Many persons say, oh, that's a lie, because there is no way you can see whatever it's at the presidential wing of the airport from where you are standing. And now some newspapers are having it this morning. We'll look into that very shortly to say maybe the trip that Mr. President went on yesterday, went to France, and it was tagged a working visit. He even flew with that plane. So it's a lot. Do we have it or we don't have it?
And I feel that move by Mr. President by getting a new jet is a case of doing the right thing at the wrong time.
Okay.
Looking at how things are at the moment,
Right.
even if the jet doesn't cost that much, Nigerians won't take it slightly or lightly because of what they are going through at the moment. And then, yes, opposition parties will see that as an opportunity to, because once there's an issue, once there's a controversy, they always try to, attack. So that was just an open window for them to just come in and say, okay, yes, we saw this jet. Because I was also wondering, I thought this jet was seized. So what exactly is this jet doing in France, knowing fully well that the president traveled to France yesterday?
And I think it was one of them. Maybe you should quickly, just move to the newspaper headlines because some of these stories are there, by the way. We'll go on this quick break. When we return, the papers are in. You don't want to miss any part of it. It's the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We'll take a quick one. Stay with us. All right, we kickstart from the front page of the Daily Trust for today. And it asks these multi-million naira scams. Multi-million naira scams. Kano governor's COS. Kwakonso's nephew. Others under probe. Again, Kano governor's COS. That should be the chief of staff. Kwakonso's nephew, others under probe. All right. And with riders, PEMSEC, directors, Algon chair summoned. Okay. And we won't spare anyone, Anti-Corruption Commission vows. Again, we won't spare anyone, Anti-Corruption Commission vows. And this is moving on to these. Tinubu flies to France in new presidential jet. I think told me should be interested in one. Maybe one of these days you might get to travel with Mr. Number One. Hopefully, really. All right. Tinubu flies to France in new presidential jet. Presidency silent on cost. Just yesterday, if I can just lay my hands on the same Daily Trust or thereabout, just so that we're sure. The same Daily Trust that's reporting this morning had yesterday on its front page no National Assembly approval for new presidential jet. If I think we plan for this, we'll have brought that back just yesterday. And the same Daily Trust, and that was in parentheses, by the way, like a quote. And just today, we are hearing and we are reading from the Daily Trust that Tinubu, the president that went to France yesterday, flew in the new presidential jet, and the presidency has been silent on cost. Interesting one, by the way. Export demand transparency as fuel subsidy back 1 year after. Same thing we have been saying. Denial, allegations, counter allegations. No, it's not happening. And one way or the other, people have been saying this subsidy that the president said we have stopped paying. It's like it's still being paid through the back door. And now we are here where we are right now, and the scarcity of fuel is still lingering. Although, the NNPC or the marketers rather came out and said it's due to logistics issue. How long that Nigerians be suffering on perceived, alleged logistics issues? It is a shame, and we should put that right there. 4 policemen killed in Enugu checkpoint attack. Why? The attack on uniformed men is becoming unbecoming, and it's a bad one. And you can see the picture of a plane, and according to the Daily Trust, the new presidential jet Airbus 8330I at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's departure for France yesterday. Okay, so the issue is this, Tomilola.
Yeah.
If there is no National Assembly approval for the purchase of this jet, and let's assume, without conceding, that yes, the jet has been bought, which fund did Nigeria or the people that bought this jet, which fund did they use? That means maybe we are doing extra budgetary spending, which is against the law as well. Because if the National Assembly didn't approve, that means something is wrong here. Is that the National Assembly leadership, they are lying? Or the presidency is lying? Somebody is that is a lie here. Because the Daily Trust is lying.
Media, okay.
And these are the things we are seeing right now. So Mr. President has flown to France in a new airplane, according to Daily Trust, and there is no approval for the budget. So who gave us?
And the question is that who should we believe? Because even if the president comes out to debunk this, National Assembly also does the same.
That we didn't release any money.
We're in the middle, and then we are not okay. And the thing about Nigeria, if you've noticed that once there's a controversy, there's always something else to cover up. Before you know it, everyone will forget about the private jet, and then everybody will move on. Something else will move, and then we'll forget.
And then we'll move on. And this speaks to the trust deficit that keeps getting wider between the people in government and the people that are being governed.
Yeah.
So even sometimes, maybe later, they come out with an information with good intention. The people will always second guess to say, maybe there is a lie here.
Yeah.
And this is what we are seeing. And people in government should not really take anybody for a ride. You want to go through with this, make sure you are open, with the people, so that whatever you say.
And then also you follow due process. I think that's very important.
That exactly. I agree with you, absolutely. And the 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy probe. Tinubu fires Nahakon chair. Arabi. Supreme Court reserves judgment in Kogi Bayelsa Imo governorship appeals. Police summon Ajero over alleged terrorism financing, felony, and others. I think that will be all from the front page of the Daily Trust for today.
All right, your last story is also on the Vanguard newspaper with the headline, Police invite NLC president over terrorism financing, treasonable felony. How I am winning war against corruption. That is coming from President Tinubu. Fresh panic as federal government demands 50% of aviation agencies' revenue. And yes, regarding the Sheshe Day, and not to forget, that is one of the things we'll be discussing on the show today. Lagos, Osun, Oyo, Ogun declare public holiday. And also, still on the Vanguard newspaper, NNPC post 3.3 trillion naira net profit, declares 2.1 trillion naira dividend. And I think that is all we have on the Vanguard newspaper for this morning.
All right, from the Vanguard newspaper, we move to This Day newspaper for today. NNPC announces a 3.3 trillion naira net profit in 2023 audited financial statement. Take that again. NNPC announces a 3.3 trillion naira net profit in 2023 audited financial statement. 3.3 trillion naira. That's a lot of money. Man, all right. And that's in the audited 2023 financial statement with a lot of riders. And I will be taking it this way. Discloses 67,000 barrels per day pledged for $1 billion loan on Port Harcourt refinery. These are still from the front page of This Day newspaper. No subsidies paid to any marketers in 9 years. NNPCL CFO, interesting, says firm handling shortfalls and not paying subsidy. Underpayment on petrol projected to hit 6.8 trillion naira by December. Company to begin sale of crude in naira to Dangote in October. Atiku, alleged payment of oil subsidy, another chapter of OPEC governance under Tinubu. And that is a lot, by the way. And you can see the picture with this caption that says, "We made profit. We made for profit." And that has the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum, Resources, Ambassador Nicholas Agbo Ella, and the Chairman, NNPCL Limited, NNPC Limited Board, rather, Chief Pius Akinyelure, and the CFO, NNPC Limited, Mr. Umar Ajia, during the release of NNPC Limited's 2023 audited financial statement at the NNPC Towers in Abuja yesterday. 3.3 trillion was said to have been made as profit by the NNPCL in the audited 2023 audited financial statement. A couple of things to look into, Tommy. They disclosed that 67,000 barrels per day has been pledged for $1 billion loan on Port Harcourt refinery. Okay, that's more like for the $1 billion loan that is being sought, 67,000 barrels per day has been pledged. That means you give us $1 billion, $1 billion loan. For whoever the lender is, we will give you 67,000 barrels of oil per day. That's oil or loan, and which some have denied. By the way, it's on the Port Harcourt refinery, and no subsidy paid to any marketers in 9 years. So who has been paying this subsidy? If NNPCL has not been paid, because it was paid under President Buhari at least for 8 years while he was there before this removal of the payment of subsidy, by the way. So who has been paying? In what form have Nigeria been paying for subsidy? What is the total volume of money, the total amount of money that has been paid in 8 years under Buhari? And if actually the NNPC didn't pay, who paid? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves, and it is a lot, really. So many questions remain unanswered here. But quick one, electricity supply. Federal government pays 205 billion naira from 1.3 trillion naira owed over generation companies. You know, the amount of money that we keep mentioning these days. Electricity supply, federal government pays 205 billion naira from 1.3 trillion naira owed power generation companies. All right, and Rider says rainfall not responsible for improvement in power supply. Okay, okay. Is there an improvement of power supply where you're living, Tommy?
Yes, yeah. I think there's a lot of changes I've noticed. And
positive.
Yeah, positive changes.
Okay, and okay, maybe some are saying it's because of the rain, but the people in charge are saying it's not rainfall. More like, give us our credit, don't give it to rain. Okay, and lawmakers plans stiffer penalties for electricity asset vandals. And I think that's right, because if you will be vandalizing, you know, I went to a place last week, and I got there. All the days I spent in that place, there was no power supply. And you know why? Because some persons came and stole the cable of that particular community. And this keeps happening. So if you are a vandal and you have the boldness to go to a transformer or, you know, whatever asset of the government or the power holding company it is that is there, and you went to vandalize, remove a old cable, and you threw hundreds of houses into total darkness, I think whatever measure, you know, that needs to be taken should be taken. In fact, that person is close as being a murderer. You know why? Because people's livelihood,
businesses, yeah.
It's as simple as that. But that would be all on the front page of this day newspaper.
All right, moving to the Punch newspaper for this morning. Tinubu panel, Dangote refinery agree on September petrol rollout. IG unveils 169-man squad against kidnapping and others. And we hope that this will turn out well.
Yeah. Because
we've been having a lot of solutions to kidnapping, but yet it is still worrisome that we still have issues like that still happening in the country.
Right.
Opposition tackles presidency over new presidential jet. And Edo governorship poll, Okpebolo, Obaseki differ over roads and others. INEC begins PVC distribution on Thursday. Tankers besiege depot as petrol shortage worsens. It's still on the Punch newspaper. NNPC posts 3.3 trillion naira profit, declares 2 billion naira dividend for 2023. Open defecation, Ogun plans Kara market relocation and mobile court. NLC protest as police probe Ajiro for terrorism financing. Independent outlets sell 950 naira per litre as black market hits 1,400 naira per litre. Many fuel trucks yet to load. NNPC not supplying enough petrol yet. And that is coming from Ipman. Ogun FTZ. Chinese embassy keeps quiet on controversial deal. And lastly, why I won't interfere in anti-graft agencies' operations. And that is coming from the President Tinubu.
Interesting. You know, it's interesting to know that the president said, according to that statement, that he won't interfere, or why he has not been interfering in anti-graft agencies' operation. According to standard procedure, according to the laws of our land, he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be. And so I'm not seeing that as something that needs commendation, and it doesn't need an applause. There is separation of power. And those arms of the government, either the Nigerian police, either the EFCC, either the ICPC, are supposed to be working for the interest of the Nigerian people. So the fact that he has not been meddling in the affairs, that's the way it should be. That's how we should behave as a country that is consistent with international laws and even our national laws to protect. In fact, it is his duty. He's the first person that has the duty to protect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which has stated that he should not, you know, meddle in that affair. I think that happened at the ECOWAS anti-corruption conference that they had yesterday, where the president, was represented by his vice, Kashim Shettima, and where he talked glowingly. You know, politicians will talk, especially to say we are doing all we are doing rightly. And it's interesting, you know, I think there was this headline from one of the papers that said that assumed or suggested that yes, the president has been doing well with anti-corruption fight, but many persons will disagree and say, okay, maybe you showed the signs, maybe he showed the signs when he came in as a president. He had suspended Beta Edu. Remember the Beta Edu's case about the humanitarian and disaster management ministry. And the woman before, the minister before Beta Edu, was Sadia Farouk, in a bad way. But the thing is, you're talking about anti-corruption. Those two individuals, those two cases in that same ministry has just been there. Beta Edu was suspended, and so what? No prosecution, no active prosecution of that particular case. Nobody can really put a name to it or put a tag to it and say, this is the situation of the Beta Edu. The minister before her, Sadia, this is the situation. So when President Tinubu is priding himself and saying he has been doing a lot with anti-corruption, really, how about this palliative situation? The 1, 2, 3 interventions about palliative that he has made from Abuja, and people are saying, we ain't seen nothing. We're not seeing anything. Who is interrogating, who is investigating this particular one? Just like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, there was another, rollout of another intervention. The question is, Tommy, okay, maybe you live in GRA, you might not have access to that because that's an elite area. But the thing is, do you know anybody that has ever received those palliative interventions in your area?
Definitely not. But sometimes when I hear about this palliative, I sometimes wonder, where is it?
Yeah.
Who are those handling it? And then we sometimes find out that these palliatives are being shared to so many politicians, expected of them to distribute it to their people, to the grassroots people, but it's sometimes it's always hung in their house.
Where?
Stocked somewhere, and then we wonder, what exactly? Because sometimes, they sometimes bring this out during election period. You see them sharing rice.
Yeah, openly.
Oh, yes, and then people will be so happy. Oh yes, he has he considers the people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's trying to
and
give
they
out
take pictures,
things,
they take videos, they upload.
Pictures, but
they take pictures with the same people.
Because we heard about this 20 trucks of rice.
Yeah.
And then there are still some states saying, oh, we haven't gotten ours. Some households have not even, we hear a lot about, okay, the president wants to share 50,000 naira. Who exactly are getting this amount of money?
Yeah.
It is, no one would ever come out to say, oh, yes, I received. Because if you're, why are you raising up your hand? You
No,
received?
to say yes, they received, yeah.
Okay, yeah, to say they received. So I think that should also be looked into. But now the president is saying, oh, I can't interfere. Yes, you don't have to interfere.
No, he doesn't have to.
But if you can speak to, or I don't think if I'm right.
There is even separation of powers. Those people knows what they should do.
Yeah.
And at that meeting yesterday, Ola Olukoyede, the chairman of the EFCC, was there, you know, because it's an ECOWAS anti-corruption seminar thereabout or conference, and he spoke, and people will say, you know, I said it yesterday, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, is like you're talking too much, or you're talking more than you are doing. The conviction of the Yahoo boys is one thing. They are fraudsters, and if actually you have caught them and you have proof to say that, to support their prosecution, yeah, it's fine. But these guys, these individuals, they are not the big fishes that people are saying. Those ones that you should make an example of are the big guns that people are seeing daily. You see allegations hanging for years on the neck of these big guys, yet they keep receiving appointments. There is a woman rather, who was a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly during 2020 NSAS situation, and you know, the COVID situation as well. And people are given palliatives. You know, I don't want to mention him now. People will know who I'm talking about. And this woman threw a party, and part of the souvenir she distributed has the signature, has the print of this COVID intervention. That means she used COVID-19 palliative as souvenir. Nobody investigated that. But you know what? Just recently, that same woman has gotten another appointment. And these are the things. But you keep going after Yahoo boys, giving them, having their mug shot, their names pretend online. Fine. We are not saying Yahoo or fraud is good. It's against the law. Why you are doing that? Can you put your hands on the big guns and go after them, name them, and shame them? And this is one thing that we keep asking Mr. Ola Olukoyede. Where is Yahaya Bello? He was so vocal. He granted press conferences. He went all ballistic talking about Yahaya Bello and said, oh, if I didn't bring Yahaya Bello, if I didn't go ahead with the prosecution, I would rather resign my job. And the question is now, Oga, where's Yahaya Bello? Where are we on his matter? Is he? There is a lot. You know, when it comes to Nigeria, as they say, the more you look, the less you see. And we cannot have a functional, a proper nation in that way. See this issue of presidential jet right now. The opaque nature. You have gotten it. No, we didn't buy it. You people should behave yourself, you know, in the manner of speaking. Somebody said we saw it in France. You denied it. Somebody said we saw it at the airport. They denied it as well. The National Assembly said there is no approval. And just this morning, it's been reported that our president traveled in that same plane. Was he a dash? Did somebody give it to Nigeria and say, go and be using it and pay later? Is it easy to buy? I mean, what they call that? Easy buy that they do to devices. The Nigeria purchased that plane on easy buy. These are the issues. Let's speak to this matter. And somebody somewhere should come clean. Let us know if it is the opposition that is just doing the opposition work of lying, or is the media, which, you know, politicians, you always put that load on and say we have been content out of contest. It's the media that is twisting this. It is a lot. We have a nation to run, and this nation must run and work. We take this break right now, and when we return, we'll be speaking to these issues, and it's about your nation, my nation, Nigeria. And as we usually say on this program, we will look into the matter, we'll discuss the matter. This nation must flourish. Stay with us. We'll be right back.